is the mute switch. This is present in all the other iPhones, and I find that this is extremely useful because you don't have to go into your device, unlock it, and then turning off the sound or mute it. You can simply flick the switch and it's going to go in silence right away. It seems like a small feature, but it's actually quite convenient. Moving on to the performance of the iPhone 6, this is also a Pro. Looking at the specs, this may not impress you. This has the new Apple A8 processor. It's a second generation 64-bit processor, along with the M8 motion processor, which tracks your steps, your elevation, stuff like that. So it's a dual-core 1.4 GHz processor with a PowerVR GX 6450 quad-core graphics, and this only has 1 GB of RAM. So comparing it to other high-end Android smartphones, the specs definitely isn't as good. But the Apple A8 processor is really optimized for the iPhone 6 and iOS in general, and this can pretty much run every single applications without any issues. From simple apps to intense graphic games, the iPhone 6 really has an excellent performance. But sometimes if I have a lot of apps running in the background, and because this only has 1 GB of RAM, I do experience a few lag and some frame rate drops at different places. The next pro is that the iPhone 6 finally has NFC, but this can also be a downside because the NFC feature only works with Apple Pay. So if you don't know, Apple Pay basically allows you to store credit cards or different banking information into your smartphone, into your iPhone, and you can go to supermarkets or different stores to make purchases with the NFC feature on your iPhone 6. The next pro is the Touch ID fingerprint sensor. I'm not sure if Apple improved it on the iPhone 6, but it feels like on the iPhone 6 it's really accurate. Even when I have some dust or oil or other residue on my fingers, it still recognizes my fingers with no issues. So just like the iPhone 5S, the Touch ID fingerprint sensor on the iPhone 6 is extremely useful. And the last pro I have is the camera and the microphone. I know I said this many times on Twitter and on my other videos, I really love the camera on the iPhone 6. So this still has the 8 megapixel sensor just like the iPhone 5S, but this has some improvements in terms of the optics or the lens. I made a separate video review of the iPhone 6 camera, so be sure to check it out. I went in detail with the image quality and the video quality of the front and the back-facing camera, and also some other modes such as panorama or slow motion, and I took some amazing images and videos with the iPhone 6 in that video. So be sure to check it out. I'll link the video in the description. So this is able to record 1080p HD videos. Unfortunately, no 4K yet. Hopefully on the iPhone 6s or the iPhone 7, whatever they want to call it. You can see the video quality is excellent. This also records slow motion, ultra slow motion videos at 240 frames per second. So you have the ability to film some stunning slow motion videos. I also noticed that the microphone on the iPhone 6 is pretty outstanding. So with the bottom speaker, this is how I sound when I record voice memos or talk on the phone. Alright, this is a microphone test of the iPhone 6. I'm currently using the microphone that records voice memos or when you talk on the phone. And right beside the camera, you can see another microphone, and this is how the video recording microphone sounds. Alright, so now you're listening to the microphone right beside the camera, which is right over here. So this is how it sounds when you record a video. Alright, now let's move on to the cons, the things I dislike about the iPhone 6. The first con is that the aluminum design feels very slippery in the hand. Especially the iPhone 6 is a very thin device, and with a brushed aluminum finish, it can easily slip out of your hand. So I do have a case for the iPhone 6. It's a sub case I bought on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the video description if you want to purchase it. And by the way, if you want to support my videos, be sure to use my Amazon link to purchase different Amazon products. The second thing I don't like about the iPhone 6 is the placement of the speakers. The iPhone 6 actually has pretty good speakers. It's quite loud, the mids and highs are well balanced, and it does have some bass. But it's just the placement of the speakers that I don't like. Just like the iPhone 5s or the 4, 3, 2, 1, they're all placed at the bottom. So especially when I watch a video or play games, it's so easy to cover up the speakers with my hands. The next con is the battery life. Well, this is not really a con, it's just something that Apple should improve. Looking at the battery, it's not removable and it's only a 1810 mAh battery. If you look at the iPhone 6 Plus, it has excellent battery life, but the iPhone 6 still has a mediocre battery life compared to other high-end smartphones. But because this is running on iOS and the processor doesn't use too much power, I'm still able to use my iPhone 6 throughout the day. What I think they could have done is made the iPhone 6 a bit thicker, but increase the battery capacity to make the battery last longer. The battery life is not bad, but compared to other competitions, I think that the iPhone 6 battery needs some improvements. Another con I noticed is that with the iPhone 6 aluminum design, or even the iPad
on 6 Plus, I guess I was just trying to find reasons to justify why I wanted it. I'm an Apple geek. I love anything with Apple. I have the Apple MacBook, the iPad, I had the iPhone 4, iPhone 5, all the iPhones that was ever made, I've had them. So of course it was only right that I do the iPhone 6 Plus. This is so crazy, but my sister-in-law has the Galaxy, maybe the Note 3 or Note 4, and I would pick on her so much because her phone was so huge. Even though I picked on my sister-in-law about her Galaxy, one thing that I did love about it is the camera quality was beyond impeccable. It was just amazing. I mean, like, for a moment I had to think, was that my Canon? Was that my T3i? Because the pictures were so crisp and so nice and just did not look like camera quality pictures. They really looked good. So I heard that Apple was rolling out with their new 6 Plus, and it was supposed to be the version of the Galaxy but better, this, that, and the third. So I decided to pick it up, and here it is. Ended up ordering the phone back in October. So October the 12th, maybe, somewhere around there. And according to the online order processing, it said that it was going to be here or be delivered on December the 2nd. Amazingly, the product showed up on November the 5th, a month earlier than what was expected. So I was already excited about that. I was kind of bummed that I wasn't able to get my trade-in value because it was a back order, so you had to pay for your phone and wait until it arrives in the mail, which kind of pissed me off because it's like, why do I have to pay for something right now when it's not being shipped to me right now? And it was just because it was on back order and I was still using my iPhone 5, so I didn't want to send that back and not have a phone. Like, what sense did that make? So anyways, I ended up not being able to get any type of trade-in value for my iPhone 5, so I will be giving it to my husband because he recently broke his iPhone 4, so everything worked out. Anyways, enough of the blabbering. As you can see, it comes in the standard box. So here it is. It's not as big as I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, based upon some of the reviews I saw and some of the comments, I thought that it was going to be like humongous to the point where I couldn't even hold it. So it's not as big as I thought it was. I do have a case on the way. I would definitely highly recommend that you get a case for this bad boy because you don't want to shatter this. Now, when it comes to putting it on your face, it does take up a bit of space, so that's one thing to look out for. I mean, you can always get you like a Bluetooth, or you can put the phone on speakerphone if you really don't want to walk around with this big old thing on your face. But what's the point of you getting the 6 Plus, because the 6 Plus is bigger. So I got the gold and I got the 16 gigs. I love the round edges of the iPhone 6 Plus. It's a lot more easier to hold on to, and I just want to show you guys a comparison of the iPhone 5. Okay, now this is my